here. We're going to start things off with our SVC lead reporter, Zachary Knight.
Hi guys. So Westfall's been a team that I feel like you guys are an incredibly competitive team. You do really well against a lot of the FCC, but some of those top teams just give you guys some trouble every year. What are some of the things you guys have been working on and looking to do this year when it comes to those top SVC opponents?
Let me take it. Okay. One thing that we have stressed over the last few years is just trying to be as physical as possible, right? When you take over a program that had 19 kids in it, you really struggle to be physical. You struggle to build a culture, and that's what we've tried to do is get into the weight room and to actually build a program within that weight room, and that's kind of what's held us back against those teams that have been established, right? Like the Zane Traces, the Uniotas, the Paint Valleys, Piketon, for example. They've had a consistent coach that's been there for a while that has built a physical culture in their program, and that's something that we've struggled with. And I think this year, we've been physical after coming out of both scrimmages. That's something that all the coaches that we've scrimmaged have said, you guys are much more physical than you've been in the past. So I think that'll help us out. So.
Mr. Newfeld.
So, Coach, for a long time you held the record for passing yards at West Jeff. Then you helped coach the guy who beat your record. And then I saw what you did with Bryce a couple of years back when I was covering for the SVC full time. So my question for you is, what do you look to emphasize for a quarterback at the high school level, and what does it take for a high school quarterback to be successful?
You got to love the game of football, right? And you've got to be able to as a coach, you've got to be able to spend as much time in the pass game as you possibly can, right? I think when I was at West Jeff as a quarterback, Sean did a really good job of setting me up for success because I wasn't a pass-first quarterback, right? So, the concepts that he gave me really allowed me to be successful at West Jeff. And then when I went back and I was able to coach Tyler Bisher, and I think his younger brother Austin's probably beat that by now, but when I coached Tyler, same idea. We kind of revamped the passing game at West Jeff, added to it, took out some things that really didn't work for Tyler, and I'll still remember being in the huddle when Sean was like, we were beating a team pretty good, and all he had to do was like maybe 10 yards to beat the record, right? And he over the headset asked me like, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, do it. And then Bryce, same idea. Bryce loved the game of football, and he was willing to sit with me for a long time on Saturdays and Sundays to get used to our offense, right? And when I took over and he was a junior, I don't think he was a quarterback at Westfall. I think he was a running back and a utility type kid. And when we went full all in on him being quarterback, he really bought into the pass game, and and that takes a lot to do. And you have to have a good offensive line that's going to give you some time, and some good skill players, which we've been fortunate to have, right? We've had a pretty solid offensive line and a lot of really good skill players for those guys. And now with AJ Poddux, he's another one that really loves the game, right? He understands our offense. He asks me a lot of questions about checks, and I think these guys can attest to AJ out on the field. Is I'll call a play and AJ doesn't like it. AJ's checking to another play. And that's something that I think gives quarterbacks a lot of confidence and the ability to play the game. And I think these guys can agree with that. AJ's confident in our offense, and he's confident in the ability to make the right check to get us into the right play. And that leads into throwing for a lot of yards, right? Because when teams are going to bring pressure or give us a one high look or leave our best wide receiver available, AJ's just checking. He don't even care the play; he's checking it. And that helps out. I think AJ threw for 1,300 last year, and he'll be on course again this year. He'll be just fine.
2007 was the last year that you guys won a playoff game. What are you guys, as a coach and as players, what are you guys doing to ensure that you get back in the win column in the playoffs?
I'm going to defer this question to some of these guys. They're seniors, and I think they got a lot of stake in this.
The number one thing is not playing for yourself, but for others. That's our main goal this year, is to play for one another and stop being selfish.
Yeah, I'd probably definitely say playing as a team, relentless effort, all hats to the ball, and we just gotta come together as one and play as one.
Yeah, like play for each other, and then work in the weight room and get like stronger. Then, be able to be more physical and play for each other.
My question's for Joey. You started as a sophomore and put together a great campaign then, come back again, have another great year last year. your senior year now. What part of your game do you think's grown the most throughout your time at Westfall? And what's it been like being a three-year starter for a program you've gotten to see with your highest high recently, making the playoffs in your sophomore season, and what's that experience been like for you?
It's been pretty rough, but it's pretty cool seeing our school turn around and become something better than it wasn't before.
So just to add to that, when I got to Westfall, right, there was, I don't know, 27 freshmen, 27 of you guys, right? And Joey, I don't know, maybe like sometime in June came up to me and I was like, hey man, what's just a goal of yours? I'm just trying to get to know these kids. And he said, I want to start varsity as a freshman. And I was like, buddy, that ain't gonna happen. I don't think that's in the cards. And to date, he'll be a 4-year starter. So he probably rushed for 600, 700 yards his freshman year. He'll be near a 4,000 yard rusher at Westfall. I don't know what the record is, but I think it's up there. And his cousin will be the only other freshman to start at Westfall. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing for him and his family.
Is this something for the rights? What makes you guys such great competitors?
Ever since we were young, we would fight each other. That's about it.
Some in the water at that house.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, real quick, just what are some of the things that you guys have really been focusing on this offseason that we can expect to see on the field this year?
I'll start and you guys. So one of the main things that, I try to do is reflect on years past as a coach, and something that I thought we have done a poor job of is being a team, right? Like we're pretty selfish. We went 6-4, 6-5 2 years ago, made the playoffs for the first time in 13 years or whatever that time was. I think it was 12 or 13. And still to that team had some selfishness to them. And there was a lot of, I wanted the ball, and why didn't I get the ball in this situation? And that was something that I think these guys, wanted to get rid of, right? They wanted to get rid of that. And now, the guy I just said that might rush for 4,000 yards is giving carries to his younger, cousin, right? And I've never thought that there was an issue with that. We have 3 or 4 really good receivers, and Quinn is giving up some touches to get to those, for those guys to get some, carries. We had to move Mason last year to play center, and he'd never played center in his life, right? So these guys have really embraced the fact that we have to be a team if we want to win, and we've got to play together, and we've got to continue the culture of what we want it to be, not necessarily of what it has been in the past, even before us. So that's something that I think these guys really have given their all to, is let's just be a team. We were just talking on the way up here. We haven't even named captains, and I'm not even sure we will. Right? That was something I asked these guys in the car on the way up. Like, we have so many guys leading our team right now. I don't know if that's even worth, fighting the battle. And every one of them were like, I agree. Why do that? Right? So that's been something that we've really, really worked on. So I'll let you guys, hone in on that too.
What Step said. In my opinion, I don't like the idea of captains, because anyone can lead the team, young or older. And I just like the idea of it now that we're all as one, instead of just picking out a few people to be captains.
Yeah, everyone has a job, everyone has to do their job, and we just got to come together as one and play as a team.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so last question here. Year 4 is a big year for head coaches. This is your first group of seniors. These guys were freshmen when you took over. How is it to see the guys that were starting, be in their last season, and also what kind of growth have you seen from these guys over 4 years?
Oh man, I think these guys, we've all guys sitting here and the seniors, I think they've seen me cry enough. I think I've seen them cry enough. They got to see my son be born. Like, they got to be a part of all this stuff that is really cool as a coach. And I think that has led into some of the conversation that we get to have together as a group, and even the 7 to 8 seniors that aren't here today. But man, it's been a lot of fun, right? I think when I came in and I interviewed for the job, that was one of my things, is like, I put together a 5-year plan, and I told them I wasn't taking the job unless they gave me 5 years. If they were just going to give me 2 or 3, and if we lost all 30 games in those 3 years, if they were going to fire me the 4th year, I wasn't going to take it. And I was pretty headstrong on that. I was like, you guys have to give me 5 years to do this thing. And I think we did it. We kind of flipped the culture in year 2. right? And the culture remained the same in year 3. I just don't think we had the guys to, produce a playoff team. And now year 4, watching these dudes all grow up from, 13, 14-year-old kids, now they're 18-year-old men, is crazy to think about as a coach. And knowing that I've been able to instill some of my philosophies and my beliefs and some of my moral character, beliefs into these guys has been really cool. And it's starting to come to fruition in June and July, and now some into our scrimmages and 7-on-7s. And I'm not worried about this group of guys. When they graduate here, I'm not going to worry about what they're going to go, and they're going to be successful in life. And all the guys that I think I've coached will be. But it's been wild. It's been a wild ride. It's been a fun ride. And I think my son comes to practice, one time a week, and he's starting to say these guys' names and, number 6 or number, 15 is our quarterback. He loves throwing the ball. He knows I was a quarterback too. So, but it's weird. It's a weird thing, and it's a really cool thing to experience. And maybe these guys can speak a little bit on, having a consistent coach for 4 years. But it's been fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to have a coach for 4 years growing up. I had him freshman year. It just shows how he saw me change and I saw him change through the years.
You just kind of build a family around them. You're with them majority of summer, and it builds a family throughout football, and you always have someone just to talk to through anything.
Yeah, it makes the whole team closer because can be close with the coaches too, and that makes everyone all united.